Sunday, February 12th, 2023. Today on the Daily Review, we discuss a movie from 1958. And I realized today that never mind. It's Mario Montazzelli's Big Deal. On Madonna Street. That was a weird intro, huh? Why did I do that so strangely? I don't know. Okay, so I was going to say today when I was in bed, I realized that I don't know how to make sense to say this properly, but it is the distance between the 1950s and the 1980s is now shorter than the distance between the 1980s and now, if that makes any sense. And the 50s seems really far away to me. But when I was born, it was only like 30 years ago. And now we're way more than 30 years past the 80s, is what I'm saying. I know that's like kind of a stupid thought, but I don't know. This happens to me a lot when I watch a movie from the 50s and I'm like, ooh, that's still good. That's still funny. What's the deal with time? Anyway, Big Deal on Madonna Street. Mario, did I say Monticelli? That's because I had family called Ponticelli. It's Monticelli. There's no T. Anyway, this is a classic comedy caper, crime caper. It reminds me kind of Bottle Rocket or like a Coen Brothers movie, because it's about dumb criminals and in Rome, obviously post-war, and they're trying to. The economy is all messed up, so everybody's their democracy for the first time or whatever again. So they're trying to figure everything out, and so there's tons of poverty, and it's a great backdrop for comedy, in my opinion. Poverty and sadness and stuff. That's where you find the greatest comedy. You don't want to see a bunch of rich people do stuff. Anyway, basically, a guy who in prison is like, damn, this stinks that I'm in jail right now, because he just went in, and there's a big job that's going to be done, a big heist, and he wants to be a part of it, obviously, and run it. So he's looking for somebody to take his place in jail, to confess, because he just got nabbed trying to steal a car. So it goes through the movie just goes. I mean, the opening scene is this character stealing a car and then being in jail and being like, well, I'm going to be in jail for the heist. I got to get out, or because it's time sensitive. So then all these people can't do it, but they all learn that there's a reason that he wants to be out. So eventually there's enough people on the outside who are like, let's just do the job. So a guy goes in, because I don't want to give away any spoilers, but a guy does take the fall for him, played by Vittorio Gassman, and they both get jail time instead, and he learns about stuff and gets out. There's a lot of nuances for such a simple script. It's like an isosceles triangle, though. It's like a perfect comic situation, because then we have the real knuckleheads, not even the mastermind, now have the plan, and it's about them trying to plan it out, and all these little things befall them. And in fact, and the crew is so incapable, and it's Mario. I mean, it's Marcello Mastroianni and Toto, and I don't even know everybody's name, but Claudia Cardinale, and it was her first role, and she became an international star in this, even though she's only in 3 scenes. She's quite beautiful. They made 2 sequels to this movie. They're both apparently not very good. One was made much later, in the 80s, which is 30 years from the 50s. And I don't really have much to say about it other than you should definitely watch it, because I don't want to all the little details are spoilers, but it builds itself up so that once they finally get to the heist, you're just laughing the whole time. And it's not particularly slapstick, but you're just these idiots. It's just like Bottle Rocket's climax. It's very, very similar. I guarantee that Wes Anderson was influenced in some way. But Marcello's guy, he's a photographer, and his wife's in jail, so he's taking care of the baby, and he's always carrying this crying baby around, and he looks so sad. It's nuts. And then for the last heist, he has his arm in a splint, broken arm like this. And you're like, why are you even doing the job? And then there's this old guy who's fucking helpless, and he's just eating the whole movie. He's got no teeth, and he's just in the background. Like, why did you bring all these people around? And yeah, it's great. It's great how it turns out because then ultimately, there's all these little things, and it's all women that distract them, whether it's their wife or their sister, or this guy's in love with this guy's sister who's also in the group, or we met a maid and she works in the building. We get the keys from her, but now I'm actually in love with her, and she quits her job, and if I have the keys, then she'll get in trouble because, and like all these, it actually is very intricate but very simply told, and every scene, they just cascade one into the other. It's pretty perfect. I highly recommend it. And I'm going to keep this short so that people watch this review, even though I didn't do a very good job, but it is on Amazon Prime, so maybe you could just watch it. Trust me, it's more modern and more exciting than you're probably expecting it to be. Because I get it. A black and white movie in a foreign language from the 50s, you're probably like, I'm not going to relate to that, but I think it's just human stuff. Everybody can like it. What I learned is that, yeah, man, what happened to Italian movies in like the 70s? They really drop off because they're so good post-war, even during the war, up until like, I don't even know why it changed over, but somewhere in the 60s, it seems like Italian film industry really took a nosedive in terms of quality. But yeah, this is really good. And Vittorio Gassman was like a leading man, like a handsome leading man, so he had to wear like prosthetics, and then they make a joke about by wearing prosthetics during this dance sequence, because they didn't think that he'd be believable as like a goofball. But that's what makes it so good, And same thing with Marcello, who I think might be my favorite actor of all time. Like, just the best face. Marcello Mastroianni, best face, and maybe his partner there. Giulietta, or Fellini's wife there. She's got the second best face. Like, together, they're just a perfect combo of faces. What am I talking about? Oh, God, Joe. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye-bye.